Okay, I want to take a moment to address the number of bears that are appearing in the Hobbits the Magic the Gathering set. I've seen some discussion online about this as to why are there so many bears here, because really the only bear in the Hobbit is Beorn. And while that's not exactly true, it is true that he's the only bear who plays an important role. So why are we getting all of these different bears? And it looks like in the flavor text for the ordinary bear, we're actually going to get this information, but it does come from the book The Hobbit itself, where Gandalf comes back from looking for where Beorn has gone, and he tells Bilbo and the dwarves this. "I have been picking out bear tracks," he said. "There must have been a regular bears meeting outside here last night. I soon saw that Beorn could not have made them all. There were far too many of them, and they were various sizes too. I should say there were little bears, large bears, ordinary bears, and gigantic big bears, all dancing outside from dark to nearly dawn." So we do have precedent for having a bunch of bears. Beorn communicates with other bears regularly, it appears, and we know that his children are able to be skin changers too later, but he doesn't have any children in the Hobbit. So it's really just these bears that are coming to help Beorn. We don't hear any more about them. But the interesting thing is, if you delve into the history of the Hobbit, if you read that book, you will find out that Tolkien originally intended for bears to be in the Battle of the Five Armies, not Beorn alone, but to have an army of bears. And eventually that got scrapped because he made Beorn to be this massive guy on his own who would be just overpowering if he had an army of bears with him. So he dropped the army of bears idea, but he still kept the idea of other bears being part of kind of Beorn's group. So that's the textual basis for why we would get all of these other bears. Now, from a gameplay standpoint, it just gives Beorn something to work with. You can do a bear typal thing once you have more bears to go with. Now, I am disappointed that we didn't get a transforming Beorn card. That seemed like a shoo-in for me from the very beginning, and I don't understand why we aren't getting that, except that there don't appear to be any double-faced cards in this set, and so once you aren't doing double-faced cards, you can't get enough to do a whole sheet, so it's really a production thing. So they have added in kind of transformation in some other ways with Beorn's hospitality, but I am disappointed that we aren't going to get a flip card. I think there should have been a way to figure out a sheet of flip cards or something. I mean, we ought to have been able to get that because Beorn transforming is kind of one of the big points.